Hello, everyone. Welcome to another BDPA Tech and Career Talk. I am your Tech and Career Talk leader, Devin Jenkins. I serve as a commercial IT business partner for our U.S. and Canada region at GE Healthcare. I am and also honored to be the founder and CEO of Share the Vibes LLC, where we connect people through music and technology. So I'm based here in Charlotte. We have people from all over in the room with us today, and even more watching on YouTube right now. So thank you for tuning into this conversation. If you're on to YouTube, make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment below. Click that bell so you know when we post, and share this with someone who needs to hear the message, because you know someone who needs to hear it. So don't be stingy. Share the wealth. There's enough to go around. So thank you for being with us today, whether you're here with us in Zoom or on YouTube. Before we get into today's conversation, I always like to give a little bit of background just on BDPA, who we are, as well as this platform and what it's all about, in case anyone may be unfamiliar. So BDPA is Black Data Processing Associates. We were founded in 1975 as a forum for continuing to build up our African American talent pipeline in the technology industry. We do that by developing computer programming skills and professional skills and knowledge in our youth, especially middle and high school, but continuing to provide opportunities for collegiate students and professionals to develop their skills, expand their network in this field, as our mantra is advancing careers from the classroom to the boardroom. That was 1975. It's 2015. So 2025. So this is our 50-year anniversary. So we had an amazing celebration in Atlanta back in August, which Akil was one of our co-leads for this year's conference. So continue to do the work for another 50 years and beyond. So make sure you're with us in Indianapolis next year for our 51st year. As we get to BDPA Con, and keep this train rolling. So glad to have you with us today. The BDPA Tech and Career Talk takes place second and fourth Friday of each month. There are a few exceptions as we get into the holiday season, in our conference month. But for the most part, we're here second and fourth Friday each month at 12 p.m. Eastern for 1 hour. We bring in a range of topics, a range of guests to cover different things of value for everyone. So we've talked about AI and cybersecurity. We talked about brain-machine interaction. We've also talked about how to work with jerks and emotional intelligence and updating your LinkedIn. So we give you quite the range. So whether you're a student trying to figure out what you want to do in your life, or you're someone who's a senior executive getting ready to retire, we have something for everyone. So glad to have you with us today. I'm going to get out of the way. I always look forward to these conversations being led by our friends at Vanguard Consulting Group, LLC. So Mr. Akil, I will turn the floor over to you to introduce our guest for today and today's conversation.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. And thank you, Devin, and thank you, BDPA, for the platform and the opportunity to collaborate. I really love doing this with you guys. We've been doing it for a couple of years, and I hopefully we continue to do this going forward for a long, long time. So good morning and welcome, everybody. My name is Akil Bektemba. I'm President and CEO of Vanguard Consulting Group, LLC. And I'm excited to kick off this conversation with our special guest, Carlos Gladden, CEO, founder of 360 Degrees Group, Inc. From code to culture, cloud to community, we'll explore how tech leadership, business systems, and workforce development intersect with purpose, equality, equity, and impact. We'll pull back the curtain on how Carlos has built and it continues to build not just infrastructure and enterprise systems, but also builds people, builds opportunities, builds culture. Because in the digital era, the next gen workforce isn't just about skills, it's about mindset, access, and community uplift. And that's what Carlos is about. So we're going to get into this conversation, a little housekeeping before we get going. Before we dive into it, throughout today's conversation, we will field as many questions and give as many answers as time allows. So please provide your questions in the chat feature. And then if we have a little bit of time at the end, we'll ask you to come on off mute and ask your question for Carlos or for anybody in the group that's in attendance here, to get going and get you those answers. So before I get started, good morning, Carlos.
Good morning. How you doing today?
Good, man. Thank you for being here with us. I have some questions for you, obviously, that we prepared, and we'll just get this conversation going. But before we get started, won't you tell us a little bit about yourself and just give us a kind of quick brief? We'll get into the meat of it, but a little quick brief on 360 Degrees Group.
So I'm Carlos Gladden, founder and CEO of 360. I started 360 by 2015 as a concept, and then 2018 a sole proprietorship, then came a corporation in 2020. That's when I met Akil prior to the pandemic happening. And then we started being business process management. So Reality 360 started as a regular web-based company, and then it kind of over the years, past 10 years, they transferred over to more of a business process management firm because we realized business needed more. And my background is more operations management and technology. So when I got into business, I'm not a person who says I want to run my own company. I kind of got into it through my ground having a disability. And that's how I got in, starting this actual organization because of my disability. I had to figure out a way to provide for myself. It became more of an engine for me to provide for myself. But then after that, it became more about purpose.
Yeah.
It went from what I needed to do from like what they say manna to what became purpose and what would need to be done. And so after that, it's kind of like it's all about, yeah, we have technology, but there's a whole process behind technology. There's a people process, there's a system process, there's a technology process. And I say it's a process because there's people, places, places or processes, and then there's technology, which is what we utilize. The systems is what that powers it, and the infrastructure is we don't recognize is what actually keeps together. There's three parts, and then there's people. You add on the people, and I don't mention on my website, but people are the first key initiatives when you start that process. And that when we look at that whole aspect of system wise, then we can now start to you then we can now start to see the value of why we use certain things.
Yeah. So you built 360 degrees, grew around the idea, like you said, of technology, infrastructure, and systems, but really based for people and serving underserved communities, which I know you have a real passion for. How did your early life, and I think you kind of mentioned a little bit about, disability. How did your early life or background prime you for this mission right now?
Well, I've been in technology since I was a kid. Remember Command and Conquer, the whole game that everybody liked to play? I've been
Yeah.
playing computer games since I was probably 8 years old. So I was already into technology, computers. Like I had fixed my first Sega game when it broke on me when I was younger. It was like
Okay.
less than 10 years old. It was broke, and then I fixed games, PC, stuff like that. So I've always been in technology for a very long time. My uncle, when they retired from the military, they were both military technology. I'm the first one, to ever do it as a business, but primarily, so I've been around technology for a very long time. So it's not something I just got into. It just came more of a path down the line after I realized it.
Very cool. On your website, you list acceptance, accountability, responsibility, and perseverance as guiding principles. Tell us about a time in your tech or business journey when things got real tough and how you leaned in on one of those values to solve the problems or to move forward.
Well, I wake up every day with that concept, right? That came about 5, 6 years ago. But I would say probably Walmart. I've always lived my life like that primarily, from time working at Walmart to recycling. Like my first time running a whole recycling program from operations management for restaurants to different various industries. So I'm probably 20 years in operations management, different industries. And then like probably 15, 16 years in technology since I started doing like educational programs. But Walmart was my first real skill set when it came to running the whole recycling program. That was all software based, system based, then people based. So we had to have a person to run it. We had to put in the way that worked is it was off recycling. So we had a number, we had a sticker, we had to put on a bale, super sandwich bale, and then we were to keep people that kept it running because without that system, it didn't work. So that was my real first experience in technology. Early on, it was with CPCC, adult high school, when I actually taught kids about Southern history of the South from 1865, 1877. And that was prior to everything happening. And that was my first time just learning how to use survey systems, questionnaire systems, websites, etc., to doing programming. That's before I actually started my company. So I
Mhm.
was already doing some of the work before then. Then I helped programs, nonprofits down the line do the same thing before I really started the actual company itself doing websites. Then I got in websites around 2013, and after my last $100 I had just got let go from Outback Steakhouse, and I
Mhm.
was like, what am I gonna do? And I was like, and it was something God nudged me. God put in my heart, start this. And my first year, I was able to double like 24,000 first year with disability. And and then that was early in my medical issues. So I've always been determined, committed, accountable, acceptance. Then that's why I say the first thing is I accepted. I
Yeah.
accepted that my situation was not going to change, but I can change and by me accepting that, I was able to change my scenario, my outlook, my whole environment around me. It took some years, took time, but I was able to accept that. And that was the first piece of advice I would say is I had to accept everything first before I was able to change anything.
I love that. And that makes me think that, we've known each other for a little while, and I've never asked this question, but I guess that's why you named it 360 degrees, right? So why did you name it 360 degrees?
So, 360s, the whole concept 360 is not about businesses. It's not about processes. It's about the universe.
Right.
We live in a galaxy that's 360 around the world. We got Earth, got Venus, Mars, planets. We got the sun that we orbit around. That's why I call it 360. It's based off the sun. It's based off of universal energy. It's not really based off of any process. It's based
Mhm.
off the power. It's based off the source. Like I put it this way, you see this in my background 360, but a lot of us know that we are our own universes.
Right.
Primarily we are the center of our own universe, and we control what orbits around our world. And this is my first time really telling people about this. And so that's why I started, because with the sun, we are the center, and we control what orbits around our universe, whether it's asteroids, planets, satellites, everything else. We have the same concepts that we talk about in NASA, Mars. We have the same concepts we live by in our own worlds from our brain. Our brain is a central processing unit that controls our world from the sun level. So that's why I call it 360. It was never about the process. It was really about 360 all year round around the sun. And the sun is probably 27 million Fahrenheit, 36 million Fahrenheit in heatness, but yet but everything is centered around the sun. So it was all about the business. So you look at the business is a center, it's a sun. And whoever runs the business is the one who actually sets that environment in play. The team, the management, everything else. Sometimes it's restructured, but based on that, it's all about the sun being the center, and you kind of control what orbits in your area. You create the planets. The people are different planets,
Right.
different environments, different things.
I love that answer. I'm glad that at BDPA and we got the exclusive on that story, because you said you never mentioned it before. So I'm glad we got to hear that. I know before, one of the other transitions that I've seen as you've grown over the last few years is you went from 360 degrees Inc. to 360 degrees International. Can you talk a little bit about your kind of your thoughts on the global expansion or the international expansion as well?
Well, we have a platform, so it's like a pyramid, a
Right.
chain. Of course, he's on the team with us. Of course, Akil's on our team, so it's a pyramid structure also, meaning that every great company transitions. You might have a corporation. 360 International is what manages the organizations, how we do our business organization to the world itself. It's how we manage our business, our partnerships. It's where we make our decisions at. And I realized that with the main company, we had became a major business process management firm and a major business process management market and the IT technology process market for businesses. And reality is I had to separate those two and that came about from WCCB, the institute, the training I've got over the years, that they've given me a lot to help train me, because I get a lot of support for institutes, business organizations, primarily the Institute of North Carolina. They've really been helpful in my business growth, because they've helped me restructure and see things differently, especially during a game changer program. And so that helped me out figure out how I need to structure my organization. So
Very
I
good.
can, because in one aspect, I'm working the business. That's 360 International, and that's 360 Degrees Incorporated. That's why all my partnerships happen. But the management side, that's where we do our work and we make our decisions and we look at what's going on. How can we grow the company? So it's a separation of two. So whoever comes on board, if they're working for the company, that
Yeah.
separates the leadership from the actual that separates leadership from the workers, those that work in the business. And also with our platform, small business systems, direct engagement, small business payment solutions, ADP partnerships, stuff like that. That's where we do a lot of our work at primarily. So it allows us to actually structure and grow the company properly without us having to be all over the place and mixing the two.
Very cool. I know your company covers everything from cloud and cybersecurity to branding and business development services. For our tech savvy, obviously BDPA is a tech organization. For our tech savvy listeners, how do you integrate branding plus advertising plus technology systems in a way so the businesses don't see it as six separate silos? How does that work?
Business process management,
Okay.
business technology process management. A lot of people don't realize that most of because we're in a small business space,
Hmm.
it's very fractional. Everybody operates in their own silo. They're one product, one service, trying to, be the all for every company. And so with business process management, like corporations literally do this constantly back to back, right? They're not one silo. They merge all three in one so they can talk to each other because
Right.
that's how they ever grow their billions, grow their revenue, operations to marketing management. Think about it. Operation runs the company. Whoever the CFO, whoever's organization over who is ever over finances is the one who's going to see what's available. Reality, if you can't market your business without a CFO operations because you don't know what's coming in, what's available. And that's the key. So by looking at that process, for even technology is what runs the company, but it's not what creates the profit. It's part of operations. And systems are all part of operations. It's not runs a company. It's what cannot create the profit. Realizing that you have your business developers, your marketers, your accountants, your CDFIs. And so when I started this journey about 5 years ago, when I met you, Q, and I started realizing there's a bigger picture. When I met Jay, there's a bigger picture involved, not just us. We started merging, even with Jay, we started merging the concept of technology business development. I started realizing there were CDFIs, there was organizations, business nonprofits, there were so many other key people, banks, small business loan specialists, different people, accountants who were also involved in this process of us getting anything. I realized that the way to increase the revenue growth of a technology companies is being connected to the whole industry and not just one. Because reality, we're a part of a bigger ecosystem. And that ecosystem, we have to understand what's going on because that's how we drive more revenue. We're one piece of the pie, but that's not the full pie. When you identify the full pie, the full pieces, the full industry, now you have an idea on how to navigate it. You will not, now you can now slowly focus on growing your company, growing your businesses, because now you can actually target key individuals who can help create. Because reality, if I know the banker of Wells Fargo, who's a small business banker, and they work with businesses all the time, and I can be a resource referral for them. Or think about what that does for you. They're getting funds to start their business. Now, what happens is you now have a contract because reality, that contract is already paid for. And that's how that works. These development programs, these entrepreneurial programs, a lot of these programs we don't think because we're always online thinking about business, but the real business is a relationship.
Right.
Because that's what pays you. I think I'm technology of operations for several companies. I'm like a chief technology officer, technology for several companies, even Black and Brown Founders, operations management. And I will probably tell you that's our relationship base. Yeah. That has nothing to do with being online. And so reality is when we look at how we look at these things, how we merge, it's about merging. And so with small businesses in 360, it was about creating that collective industry in one. That way we can all grow. And I want to be able to help others in the tech space do the same thing. Understand that connect with, if you're in Charlotte, wherever you are, we can connect. I can show you, connect with those key individuals that's not technology based in your industry. Because those are the ones that's going to close the deals. 95% of the world does not understand technology like we do. So we need to connect those that can speak their language or learn the language through different business developers, consultants, so we can grow. Even though Q's, you're HR. I'm technology HR. We have a project with ADP currently right now. I speak a different tech language, but Q speaks a different type of non-tech based language that can actually get them to actually close the deal is what you actually need.
That's great. I know we talk about workforce development a lot, and I know it's kind of it's a piece of a core of what you do. How do you reconcile the pace of technology change? And we talk about this sometimes with AI, cloud, cyber threats, with the need to train. How do you reconcile the pace of technology change with the need to train and uplift talent, especially in the communities that historically have had less access?
I would say stop looking at people to pay you to learn information. And the reason why I say stop saying pay me to learn something, because we do it at jobs, because when somebody pays you to learn something, it's their intellectual property. You learn from them, but it came from them, and they can utilize that regardless. Some companies, and sometimes get careful kind of not compete. I would say be willing to learn about different systems and platforms and technology without somebody teaching you. Because sometimes there's opportunities that come about that you don't recognize. And when you're not ready to walk through that door, it's hard. For instance, AI. You got all these AI platforms. You got there was a jump from 23 million, there was a jump from 33 million businesses from 2024 to 36 million small businesses in 2025. See the big jump on that?
Yeah.
So from tech to create opportunities, all these people seasoned business owners to older, even business owners who are aging out their businesses need help on technology systems because they're trying to evolve their businesses. And there's opportunities where you don't have to work as many hours. And so reality is when you take time to learn AI, there's AI in cybersecurity, there's AI in business development, there's AI in marketing, there's AI in consulting. There's so many AI bots. Even job firms have AI chat bots, which is a full chat bot. You can sign up services, ask questions, answer, make calls. There's AI. It's so many various places. Take time to learn about these programs on your own. Because some of these programs, because there is no AI certification platform really, not unless you work for a company. And so reality is you're for educational company. So when you start looking at these things, it's like 30-minute sessions. They got AI for, I just took AI Essential for like 30, 40 minutes, like 20 minutes. That's a quick session. It don't require 2 hours. But guess what? When you get a certification and you go to those type of programs, and I put some people onto a team that we go through, it makes it very easier for you. So reality is learn on your own. That way, when you talk to a business owner who's ready to pay and get started for a service, what happens is now you can move forward.
Got you. So I was thinking about what you were saying earlier about how you got started and the and fixing game systems and doing, when you first became a technologist as a young man or young boy at that point. I always wonder, like, what's some of the old school business systems or processes you still believe in, and how do you integrate some of that stuff into the cutting edge technology that you're doing now? And what do you think people are sleeping on?
So I would say one, we're sleeping on the major data centers, right? So think about it. If you look at AI is technology. It's a system and technology. It's both system and technology, correct?
Right.
So I got a question, Q. What powers ChatGPT?
You tell me.
What powers it? What's the engine? What's the power? What infrastructure powers ChatGPT? And we use it every day. Don't recognize it. We've been using it on websites every day.
People?
That's one aspect. People power it first. What's the next that powers it? Servers.
Yes. Okay.
So we've been using servers for last probably 60, 70 years, even for a long time, to power machines, militaries, the government uses servers for a very long time. We've been using it probably last 30 for 50 years, primarily as people, as when the PC, think about it, remember when the first PC came out? That was powered by what? A server, right? A computer.
Yeah.
Well, that motherboard is a server that powers that PC, your laptop. It's what powers this PC. If you look at your laptop, you got the software, you got the hardware, and then you got the technology, the apps, the programs that use it. That's the technology. It's all part in one. And when you start breaking it down, that's what AI is. AI, old machine learning, because we still use what we call program learning. Now, generative AI is more, learns on its own, but it's still programmed. So we have not, and then you got robots that still program. Everything is still programmed by human beings. So how is it all? So we keep thinking about it. We don't look at it from a business standpoint. And this isn't a business. And when I got into the business of technology, the business of it all, that's when I recognize it's a different language. When you work in it, you're just focused on how to use it. But the business requires you to understand all different levels. So the infrastructure of AI, the servers, the people set it up, they program it, then the servers happen, and then you put the AI on the server, and then once you put it on the server, now you can start doing programming. That's the technology use of it all.
Got you. When we talk about you as a leader, and we talk about that sometimes, we often talk about equity, we talk about sustainability. In the tech world, we focus on scalability and growth, right? So how do you ensure that growth doesn't sacrifice equity for the communities that you serve?
Well, for one, we got to start looking at people. We have to start looking at skill sets. Our skills that we learn is what sets the bar. Like, I have a disability, but one thing I've never wanted, even I have my FND condition, which is functional knowledge disorder. I've had it since I was 21, since about 20 some years old, since Walmart when I collapsed. And I know what it was back then until 2019. And one of the things I never wanted anybody to do, I never wanted anybody to give me anything because they felt like he has a disability. Right. He has this. I'm gonna give him opportunity. To me, that's when I'm looking, and that to me sets the bar. To me, I want you to give me something because I can do the job.
Right.
And that's what sets. And then when we look at equity, What is equity? What is equity really? Equity is investment. When you look at real estate, equity is what? When you look at real estate, equity is what the values in the house, right?
Right.
So when you look at technology, equity in technology, what skill sets, relationships across the board, what system did you learn? Did you build, create for yourself to build that equity in your opportunities? Because when you look at equity and opportunities, it's totally different. You have to build their skill sets, their relationships, who you're talking to. Like you can talk to one successful person who runs, like I said like this. You know this for a very long time, Akil. I have clients who run multiple businesses, correct?
Yes.
And I can get one business from a client, and now I'm called, we need to work on the other businesses. Now I got 3, 4 businesses for one client.
Right.
You don't get that type of opportunity, not actually building that equity in relationships. And that's just building that value. And equity is all about value. So what value are you building in growth wise? Yeah, it's great that you can make money, but the question is, did you build that equity and the value in that relationship you build? Because that one relationship can spray you off through 10, 20 different people. It's not always about money.
Yeah.
How much you're gonna pay me? How much you're gonna get from me? It's not about that. It's all about the people. The people are the key in equity.
Yeah.
When it comes to technology, because we need more people using us. The more people that use me, the more value I have. The more business that use my systems, I help them set them up, the more value I have. But I'm not being used. There's no value in you. So reality is, who's ever using you, because you are a system, that's what brings you value.
That's great. That's great. And I appreciate, I really love the fact that you're transparent and you're letting us inside a little bit into, you know, the way that you recognize certain challenges and you overcome them. For those that are listening, what are 3 tech skills or mindsets you say are non-negotiable right now? Like that you have to have these 3, in order to be effective or be competitive in this space that we're living
So
in right now.
three skill sets they need to learn.
Yeah.
Listening is 1.
Okay.
Observing is 2.
Yeah.
And being open is 3. Meaning using knowledge, understanding how to apply knowledge. All those things are great, but if you can listen, just listen to something. Listen to people. Like we're hearing frequencies. Like we all have we all have 5 senses, correct? Smell, taste, hear, touch. All the 5 senses, right? And you had like I can't remember, my brain's going in miles, but I'm slow down. Smell, taste, hear, touch. Sense, right? Seeing, right?
Yeah.
What are those?
Senses.
But what are those to the human body? See the difference? We don't recognize ourselves. Like we are biotechnology as human people. And to the human body, the brain is like when you look at the biotechnology, and I'm going to hit on our senses, not what we think AI is. We're biotechnology. And from our veins, our cells, our structure, our spine, the neurons, do you realize that we have over 1 trillion of neurons of power run through our body every day? Like that's more than a power plant that can produce. And and we're going 17, 18 hours a day sometimes.
Yeah.
That's more powerful than the power plant can push. So when you think about your 5 senses, those are tools. I would say learn to listen, learn to see, learn to understand. Those are the learning tools skills we need to learn. Because reality, everything else doesn't matter anymore. When we take time to learn, see, smell, taste. I'm talking about the 5, because the 5 senses as tools for our growth, that's when we can grow. Because we're biomachines. We're machines. To us, we're people. But to the brain, and the brain, like instantly, I see this screen, right?
Yep.
This is what we call trillions of megapixels of data, information that comes to us daily. I can hear you. We can't touch each other, but I can touch this desk.
Right.
I can see you. I can eat something. Taste.
Yeah.
Reality is, learn to use those, and you can be successful. Learn to use what God has given us, and not what we think is there. Because then, because by the time when I learn to listen carefully to something that says AI, it teaches me to listen carefully to what I'm getting. And that's one things I can tell people to learn is learn yourself.
Yeah. No, I like how you bring it back to the biochemistry and biotechnology, and the fact that, ultimately we are, in the age of technology, in the age of AI, in the age of generative AI, and all this robot learning and all this kind of stuff, that it really comes back down to us, right? And how we operate, how we move things forward. I want to shift a little bit to leadership and culture. You're a CEO, but also describe yourself as a visionary leader, which I believe you are, and community advocate. How do you balance the profit and loss sheet with the purpose and people sheet that you keep?
Well, I'm all so I use the old I use I have a sheet called 50 Ways of Marketing. It's an old sheet. And years ago, I used Walgreens model. Walgreens model and Walmart does too. Most corporations that are big in retail use relationship model. Relationship
Mm,
model is based on knowing your customer, interaction with your customers. They keep coming back and repeat. So with the relationship model, that's how I balance it out. So I don't work with everybody
mm-hmm.
at all. I That's why we have our discovery meetings because I'm trying to see are we a good fit, or we're not, or is that person a good fit for somebody else on my team? Because again, I might not be a good fit for them, but somebody else might be, or they're a good fit for another company
Mm-hmm.
because of how they operate. And so it's all about figuring out who our best client is for us. We work with a lot of companies that are 6-figure, 7-figure earners. Sometimes some startup, depending who they are, I like to work with people who are really committed to the process. So when I balance the worksheets, I'm looking at revenue and goals. I'm basing on, multiple services. So we can bill out for multiple services. I look at the numbers every week to see what's going on. And then we also base on invoicing. So I try to do invoicing, recurring payments, but I prefer people to pay out for a whole year out because that gives us enough cash flow to continue to operate. And so
Mm-hmm.
when we balance that out from leadership, I like to let people do people. Hey, you're HR. I'm not an HR person. I'm not a business consultant.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not about to sit there and try to do a job of HR and business consultant. We all have our roles.
Right.
Let people play their roles so you can release less stress on yourself. We're all masters at something,
Yeah.
but being a master at nothing is doesn't make any sense. So
Right.
I don't believe in being a master at everything. I believe in being master at what I do and perfect
Gotcha.
and allow others to come do that part. So I think in leadership, it's all about delegation, allow them and working with people. It's not always money that you have to worry about. It's
Right.
all about understanding the person's skill set, where they play their part, and let them play their part. Because they can probably get more out of the situation than you can.
Yeah.
Let them do that. So let people do the work and use technology as a way to help manage that process.
That makes sense. A lot of people, I work in the workforce development space, and there are some listeners out here, and there will be some listeners on our YouTube, that are designing programs, upskilling initiatives, and bridging pathways for folks. What's a piece of advice you'd give to program designers who want to align more effectively with the real needs of employers in the tech and infrastructure and systems?
Um, people, people first,
Okay.
people first. Get input from people of what they use their systems for. Too many
Mm,
times we want to design systems around people and then nobody uses it. For what? Well, I need that system. You never talk to me. Everything is about stakeholdership.
okay.
If you approach it from a stakeholdership, it means that you bring in the right partners in place to help cultivate that partnership. Small business systems, I think over the years, and you've been around Q, was all about before we got where we are now, you
Hmm.
guys were stakeholders, right? You guys are still stakeholders, correct?
Right.
And small business system was structured around stakeholders and people. I've been had technology, but it was all about stakeholders of the people. So I would say, wherever issue you're going to work in, wherever process you want to solve or something like that, do your research. Find who's in it. Has it been done already?
Mm,
And if it's a pre-existing platform you can become part of that's growing, stop creating new things and enhance the platforms you already have. Because sometimes technology takes investment. You have to
mm,
invest in that system. It's not about, and sometimes it's more frequently having investment dollars. And let's be honest, if you look at AI, most of those platforms that are sustainable have investment dollars to back it long term.
right.
Servers investment, systems investment, technology investment. People require investment, but that's human and that's energy, time, and energy investment, and sometimes money, depending on how you look at it. So
Mm,
reality is, first seek advice from those in your industry that you want to work with, non-tech people. Seek advice with people who are not the business owners who use systems. Seek them first out. Build relationship with them people, and also build relationship with different CDFI organizations, different industries that are key players in the industry, and talk to them on how we can better that solution. There's a market for everybody.
Right. So
Figure out who you want to work with.
yeah, so I'm hearing that I guess a key approach would be to look at collaboration and enhancing things that are already in place as opposed to because I think you're right. I think a lot of us are out here trying to almost recreate the wheel, right? We're trying to create a better wheel. But if we were to work together a little bit more, if we were to enhance things that are already in place, then we probably would move forward a lot faster. I have a quick. This is more funny here. That thinking. But if you can go back 10 years, maybe 20 years, 15 years, I don't know how many years you want to go back, and give your younger self one warning about building a tech business from what you learned in building your business, um, what would it be? So if you
I
look
would,
back at yourself, you told yourself, hey, you met yourself 10 years ago, from what you know now, what would you tell yourself? What would be a warning or some direction that you would have gave yourself to grow?
it's what my mind told me. Keep moving forward
Okay,
because we don't see the future.
got you.
We don't see tomorrow. Like when I realized when it came apparent to me because I think in because of human nature, we have because we're like advanced intellect, like even as human being, I'm a what you would consider a bio advanced technology, right? Because we can think, see, smell, process information, think and talk, right?
Hmm.
I would say keep moving forward because we don't see the future. What I mean is when I see the screen, I see us at this time, but my brain does not see this. My eyes don't see this. My hearing does not hear you. It hears information. It hears frequency and sounds.
Mm.
Understanding those aspects, seeing your voice, hearing your voice, seeing you talk. I can see your interaction, right? That's information and data. So I would just tell myself keep moving forward because we don't see the future, we don't see the past, we don't see the present. The presence is now, but we don't see what's going to happen in the next 30, 40 minutes to an hour. So just keep moving forward and don't ever give up. That's it. Because in the day, I would never want to change nothing. I would never want to change what I've gone through because that's who I am today. Without that, I would not be who I want. If you try to alter anything that you did in the past, you can also alter your future and your
Yeah, we talk.
presence.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we talk about that, and I was thinking about my next question, and I think you just answered it, but I think about how we operate, and I know you and I are alike in this a lot, where we are intentional about providing to those who are younger than us or who are coming up, um, with everything that we think that we may not have gotten as far as advice, support, training, any of that stuff, right? So we offer all of those things to make sure that we help people mitigate, the some of the things that they might be facing, so that they can overcome them faster or avoid them even. So I really appreciate that. But is there anything else that you wish somebody would have told you? I know that's what you would have told yourself. You said keep moving forward and focus on that. But is there anything else that you wish somebody would have told you coming up?
I don't know. I have flowers, but I don't know because I look at life like a journey.
Yeah.
Things I don't know because it's weird. It's weird for me because when I look at life, I see it as a journey, right? Certain people come in your life at a certain time period to tell
Yeah.
you things. And some things we ask for too early, we can lose.
Huh.
Like
Interesting.
I've come to understand that. I remember I will always try to, even though my like for my 20s, I dealt with most of my medical up and downs. You
Yeah.
met me around at after 30 when I finally my life things started to transition for me
Sure.
differently when I met Jay. But those years I had a hardship struggles. If you would have asked me, if you would have given $1 million, I would have lost it all
Interesting.
because I was in a place where I was in a darker place in my life where I was struggling. I was trying to get past the medical. I was trying to redefine myself.
Yeah.
And sometimes we ask for things too early. Sometimes you're not ready for a certain step, a certain process step, a certain opportunity. So don't wish for it, but
Yeah.
keep building, keep going forward, keep getting what you need. Certain relationships. I know a lot of people for the last 20 years, since I was like probably I'm 36, 18, 20 years now.
Mm.
I'm now doing business with them, but I met them in my early stages.
Yeah.
But what is about me, it was about me getting where I need to be. Now I'm doing business with them, but now because I'm in a place where I can handle that growth, I'm becoming more establishing myself.
Yeah.
So sometimes I don't think I would, I don't, I don't think I seek advice from people because it doesn't. I'm seeking advice where I'm at a current stage, and advice I get is what I receive. Now I'm a firm believer in just realizing that don't try to rush everything.
Yeah.
Just go through the process. It might take 20 years to build $1 billion company,
Yeah.
but out of those 20 years, you needed certain information to scale and grow that to get that to that level. Nothing's built overnight. Rome was built overnight. America was built overnight. When you look at some of the old African kingdoms, we look at we can look at a go we can look at old ancient Africa or look at ancient Africa or look at ancient America before us, and we can look at these things and it comes to a notion once you start to recognize it that they were not built overnight.
That's right.
You I don't care if you have 100, I don't care if you have 100 tribes. It might take 50 years to organize those. It might take 20, 25, 50 years to organize those tribes under one government, one country, one network. But it's constant work. So I would say some information you don't. So start looking for instances because if you're not going to use that information, why ask for it?
Yeah. I think that point really resonates. I did get some of that advice early in my career, and it was really tough for me to accept. I was going for a certain position, and I was told that I wasn't ready, and I fought against that, and I was insulted, and I was, but as I've gotten older, and gotten to the point, I think exactly what you said. I might have not. I'm. I may have done well, but most likely because that advice was really sage advice, I may have messed up that opportunity when I was trying to go for it, and I needed to get more experience. I need to understand things more. I need to move forward a little bit further before I jumped into that space. And so I think that one of the takeaways from this whole conversation, I think that is a very powerful piece of it. So I really appreciate you saying that. I always try and throw a little bit of lightness into really deep, heavy conversations, and this has been a really great one. So if you had, so this is a little bit off topic a little bit, but if you had to pick a tech plus culture mashup, like your favorite song or album you listen to when you're up in the zone and you're building systems and training talent, what is it and what does it fire you up to do? So what songs when you're in your zone and you're putting together, training system? I don't know about you, but I listen to music when I'm working in here alone. Do you have a favorite song, or what are you listening to right now? Or is it maybe some just some sounds or some soothing sounds, or is there anything that you use kind of audio wise to get you going?
It depends. Sometimes I listen to rap, I listen to motivational videos. I might listen to it's a podcast I listen to on my Amazon music account. It's like I can't remember what it is, but it's motivational
Okay.
podcast. And I might listen to that, listen to some Eric Thomason. Like years ago I had a chance to meet Les Brown years ago.
Oh yeah.
And I might listen to some of their speeches, while I'm working. I need to refocus my brain. I might not listen to music. I might just listen to something that's going to feed me.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
might be Jay-Z. It could be, Nas. It depends what the mood is, right?
Right. That's right.
Sometimes I just want to hear, you know, some motivation music. That's it. I just want to hear something motivational in my brain. Hear some
Yeah.
words talk to me. Because I
Yeah.
need that while I'm working. I need to feed myself. I'm going to something. I need to feed myself something. Guess want to say, keep going, keep pushing. Don't give up. Don't. And it's just reaffirmation. So I listen to anything depending what the mood is. But most is motivational information while I'm working.
Got you. We're getting coming to an end here, but I want to ask you two more questions, and then I want to give you an opportunity to kind of tell what's next. with 360 degrees. When you engage,
Q, let's do this. Let's get them to ask us questions. I want to interact with people. I want to, we got 10 minutes, so let's get them to ask us questions.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I like the transition. So, anybody on the call, if you want to come off of mute, please jump in here and engage with Carlos.
Well, Carlos, I just wanted to say thank you. I really enjoyed your presentation, and I put in chat saying that one of my old bosses had said that every year you should give yourself the gift of a new skill or a new certification, because you are the most valuable assets you have, and if you don't give to yourself, you can't give to others. I gotta jump off and jump on another call. Sorry.
Thanks, John.
Anybody else?
Hey, Jackie, you have any questions or you want to say anything, Carlos?
Hey, Carlos, I just want to say thank you. I really appreciate the talk.
Right on, Keon.
So,
Thank you.
I couldn't get off of mute. Sorry, but I do want to say that I am inspired by your journey. And I want to thank you for the presentation that you provided, for the detail, but also for the inspiration, because as business owners here, we all inspire others, but we need to be inspired as well. So I just want to thank you for that.
So, Jackie, I see you do. Let's have a conversation at Q with Jackie. She does career technology, formula. DB's about recommended by AI. So let's talk, Q. Let's have a conversation for a minute. I want to, I'm like, sometimes I want to interact. So you do career connections with AI, correct?
Correct. That's one of the things.
Right.
So, okay, so what is one of the things, Jackie, that you've seen so far that, you've been able to transition or you've seen AI used for career development?
Well, one of the things that I did well before the pandemic is that I am a communicator like all of you, and I loved using LinkedIn to meet new people. And one of the things I actually did was actually follow up with people. And I would go to a networking event and people would meet me and I would meet them. And they would, when I would follow up with them, they would say, well, you're the only one that really followed up with me after all these people that I met. And so I took what happens in an in-person experience and translated that into an online experience. And I created my Career Connection Formula program. And what I found is that people know how to create a profile. They don't know how to build a relationship online. And that is the difference of having success. You can have a big number of connections, but if they don't know you, they can't do anything for you and you can't do anything for them. You have to build the relationship. So taking what I've already done and now adding the AI piece just takes that to new levels to be able to have people not only connect with the people they're desiring to connect with, but also to build those relationships and have AI refer them and recommend them.
Mm-hmm.
So, question, I see that what is the impact from AI? And you can ask a question to it, Q. What is the impact from AI? What is the impact from using AI in the career development, hiring stages, where small business users, what does the impact look like for them? Because I see career and AI merge together.
Give me the question again. I didn't quite get what the question was.
So what impact do you see? What impact do you see that AI has in the career development industry alone, in hiring, workforce development, everything else? And you can ask a question to a Q too, but what impact do you see that it having in the career development and the workforce development industries?
Speed is really about speed. It's doing what you do quicker, faster, and better, but not in place of AI. You can't just put in something to AI and expect a magic answer or a magic response or download. You still have to review it. You still have to make it your own. And that's where people really have to come around the curve and understand that, yes, it's a tool. It's not going to replace you. And you have to make sure that you read the response that it gives you and make it your own, because it does make mistakes no matter how much you train it. It does make mistakes and it does assume and hallucinate, and you have to still give it the people touch. And that's where people fail.
I think just to piggyback on that, Carlos and Jackie, I was told or I heard this not too long ago when AI really started to go crazy and people were very, very afraid that it was going to replace, right? I mean, we know automation and some of those things will replace people in some of some functions, but I heard that you will not be replaced by AI. um, those that know how to use AI will replace you. So it's still the human piece of it, right? And the fact that who uses the tool the best, who uses the tools the greatest, are the ones that will survive or that will flourish in this time that we're in, as opposed to those that I mean, we all know when technology kind of started coming in computers, there were a whole bunch of people who were like, they wanted to use pen and paper still, and they wanted to not, they didn't, they really, really rejected the transition into technology. And, unfortunately, a lot of those people didn't survive the cut into going into the new space. And those of us who really embrace the tools, if I'm a construction worker and a new drill or a new hammer comes out tomorrow, I'm not using the old hammer. So I mean, it's kind of like, if you embrace it as a tool, like you just mentioned, and really
But
utilize it in that
but
space, then
so this is another question. What happens when it's we all know we all want to move to new technology, right? Everything new, right? And get away from everything old, right? But what happens when that electric drill or that electric hammer stops working? You gotta go
right,
to what? The
gotta go back.
infrastructure,
Yeah.
which is why I see that people who learn infrastructure, the systems that power AI, the servers, and the software is going to be key. That's why I said it's multiple areas in AI we don't recognize. The data center is all infrastructure for us. It's what powers it.
Mm.
We got another, I think, want to speak.
Yeah, I just wanted to jump on the AI topic in small business. I think as a second generation small business owner, we use AI in everything we do now, whether it's operations, recruiting, finances, marketing, RFP writing. But what I've realized is that it made us so efficient that we're doing a lot more with a lot less. That I spoke to a friend the other day and I was telling him the issues I'm having, and he's like, dude, you're burnt out. You're doing too much. You got to slow down. So
Yeah.
this question's for Carlos or anyone. As AI makes us better and able to do a lot more with a lot less, how are you handling, excuse me, how are you handling burnout, or what, or just in your business growth path, Carlos, how did you deal with burnout?
Well, I don't get burned out because I'm process management. So I approach AI from AI process management. I figure how we're going to use it. Put a process. That's what we do. We also do AI process management. We figure how we're going to use it. Put a process in place, and that's it. And then we follow that same process, and we adjust it as it goes. So I think having a process prevents burnout.
Mm.
Having that, and then we can help you that also with the process and structuring your AI, what you use, what you're not using, and why do you need to use it, and then start using so much AI tools and use the ones that benefit the most.
Mm.
Like I use ChatGPT mostly, not Claude or other platforms. Then there's Gemini. Then there's AI with Microsoft Copilot. So depending on what you use, learn how to use those processes and put it in place. And we can help you with it. And when you put it in place, that'll keep you from burning out so much because you're not doing so much with AI. And then train
Process
others the
first.
same process. Once you bring somebody on, you train others how to do the same process. So now you're replicating that same process
That's a very good point. Thank you.
and dedicate time to it. Dedicate a certain amount of time to AI. I'm not always touching AI every day. I'm in
Ah.
system work. But I might choose a couple hours a day, a week to do a bunch of AI work, and that's it. I don't spend 10, 20 hours a week on AI. No, that's too much. I spend about probably less than a couple hours, like 5 hours a week on AI, and I dedicate time to direct process how I'm going to use it and get what I need done. So I can spit out everything I need for the week, and that's it. Documentation, AI is great at documentation if you know how to use it.
Mm.
But you still gotta look at it. So just utilize what it needs to use for and don't put so many hours into it.
Got it. Thank you.
So guys, I hate because it seems like we're getting ready to get revved up into more of this, and I'm excited about it, but I know we're on a time limit for today's session. I see Devin popping back in, so we're gonna close up a little bit. Before we do that, real quick, I would love to give Carlos 1 minute to maybe just say what's going on next for 360 degrees, and then and then Devin, we can go ahead and close up, brother.
Yeah. So next to 360 is we have a platform called Tech to Small Businesses, where we're actually looking at training people on understanding how infrastructure works and infrastructure technology and systems work in AI. Because as you know, as you understand one part, now you understand all parts. Now you can kind of grow in all areas. So when you start using AI as a small business, you might realize that you might need your own server versus going on somebody else's platform through chatbots, because it's also bandwidth. And then, there's growing businesses, expanding the platform, continuing education. We're also partnering with a lot of CDFI organizations, so we're on the game plan. So really expanding in the small business community, providing more tech training people, because that's what it takes now. We need people who understand technology, system, and infrastructure, and AI all in once. That way you can kind of help assist that small business directly.
Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you. And I know you put your contact information, website, and all that stuff in the chat. So those who are on, please jump in the chat and grab Carlos's information. Carlos, man, what a great conversation, brother. And I appreciate your time. Appreciate you jumping on here with me. And man, I learned more about you probably in the last hour than I knew even in the last 5 years. So this has been a fantastic experience. Devin, thank you for the platform. Everybody who jumped on, Jackie, thank you for your comments. Keon, John, everybody who jumped in to speak. Really, really appreciate you guys jumping on. We'll be back soon. And Devin, take us away. Thank you, bro.
Thank you, Akil and Vanguard Consulting Group for putting together such a powerful presentation. And Carlos, thank you for coming and sharing your perspective with us today. Exactly the stories we need to hear in BDPA. I appreciate your vulnerability, your transparency, and telling your own personal challenges, but how you took that and transformed that into something positive and powerful through technology that helps others even to this day. So thank you both. Thank you all for joining in today, and thank you for watching on YouTube. Again, make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment below, click that bell so you know we're posting, and share this with someone who needs to hear this. You heard it now. So share this with somebody who needs to hear it. You don't have to take a guess now. Now you know they need to hear it. So thank you. If you're in the Zoom today, hey, this is on our national YouTube channel. National BDPA is our channel, so make sure you check that out. We'll be back in a few weeks on the second Friday of November, and Akil will be back with us that day to bring us another special one. So thank you all. Until next time, stay safe and stay blessed. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
All right.